Good morning, everybody. Last class we discussed about joining process. The joining process is defined as joining of two components, two or more components, or joining of metal or non-metal by the application of heat, or and also non-application of the heat, and also application of pressure or without pressure by joining two or more components is called joining process. The factors for the joining process are where do you use the joint, and what are the stresses acting on it or the load acting on the joint, and the joint design, the simple lap joint, T joint, or any design. So then the metals involved, maybe metal to metal or metal to non-metal, and like that the material involved, and the size and shape of the component. Say the some small component or big component or intricate shaped component, so that can be joined to other components. But the shape and the size of the components are also very important for joining process. Next, come to the point. The joining process is classified into three: soldering, brazing, and welding process. The soldering is classified into soft soldering and the hard soldering. Soft soldering is carried out at the temperature range of 150 to 450 degrees centigrade, and the hard soldering is carried out at 600 to 900 degrees centigrade. The soft soldering is very important. Nowadays, we are using lot of electronic gadgets or instruments. For example, TV, mobiles, anything. You consider anything in your house, washing machine, oven, or any instrument. There you have the electronic circuit. There you require the joining process, that is the soft soldering process. Next, come to the point, hard soldering. Hard soldering is nothing but that is used in heat exchanger, that is used in heat exchanger and air conditioner, refrigerator, radiators of the car or big engine. This process is hot soldering is carried out at 600 to 900 degrees centigrade. Instead of using soldering material, that's the filler metal, here they use the spelter. The spelter means that is the filler metal, which is made of alloy of copper or alloy of zinc or alloy of nickel. And this is a very important for hard soldering. Hard soldering. Next, come to the point, the method of soldering. Say first you clean the ends of the components to be joined by using blade or file and apply the flux on the joint. Then use the soldering gun, heat the soldering gun, whichever the residue solder present in the tip of the soldering gun, that can be removed by using blade or file. So that is called a tinning operation. Then apply the solder in the joint and heat that so that the two joints are made by using soldering operation. Next, come to the point, the brazing operation. See, the brazing is used in chemical industries, air conditioner, refrigerator, heat exchanger, and many applications you have in brazing joining process. See, this is the process is carried out at 500 to 900 degrees centigrade, and this is the most comfortable, economical method of joining non-ferrous metals. Remember, non-ferrous means copper, aluminium, brass, magnesium. Other metals can be easily joined by using the brazing process. Here, the process is carried out between the 500 to 900 degrees centigrade, and the joint is made according to the application. First, and in this process, the filler metal or filling metal is called spelter. So this is made of alloy of copper or alloy of silver or copper, zinc, and tin. Next, come to the point, the method of brazing. First, clean the surfaces to be joined by using file, blade, and alcohol or kerosene, so that whichever the dust, dirt, oxide, and grease present in the joint, and that may be removed. And the parts to be joined are clamped in the vise. Clamped in the vise or using suitable fixture, you can keep the joint intact position. Then the borax or boric acid, so which you use for playing of carom, the boric acid or borax, that's the same thing which is used in pressing process as the flux. Then heat the spelter becomes liquid and fill the gap between the two components to be joined by using pressing process, fill the joint with the spelter, liquid spelter. Then spelter flows to the joint and completely fills the joint and allow the spelter to dry up in the open air. Leave it for 10 minutes or 15 minutes. The spelter makes the strong joint between the components. Strong joint between the components. Then the joint is ready for use and allow the joint to cool in the open air. Next, the difference between salting process and pressing process. You have 10 differences in the examination. Write minimum 8 differences. Next, come to the point, very important. All of you mark it very important. Without this question, there is no question paper at all. Later in this class, I will give you the question. First, you know the types of welding process. That is the pressure welding. That is in bracket you have plastic. Plastic means melt the ends of the components and join. In this classification, you have four: forge welding, resistance welding, solid state welding, chemical welding. See, in bracket you have thermite welding. All of you seen the railway track. How do you join the railway track? Many competitive examination, you have a question on the welding process. How do you join the railway track? This is the chemical welding process. Here, they use the chemicals, gunpowder, sulfur, and from that, they melt the ends of the railway track and make the join. That is chemical welding. And also this is called as thermite welding. Remember, thermite welding. Next, come to the point, fusion welding. The name itself indicates fusion welding. Say, this is the non-pressure welding. In these two processes, we are not applying pressure for welding process. This is the arc welding and gas welding. In your syllabus, you have arc welding, electric arc welding, and the gas welding, oxyacetylene gas welding process. Say, in gas welding process, that is classified the arc welding, you have electric arc welding process. Later, we discuss about the arc welding. And the classification of gas welding, there will be two types. One is pressure welding. They are using high and low pressure gases used for the welding process. And next, the combustible gases. That is nothing but oxygen and acetylene used as the gases for welding process. Next, come to the point, the laser welding. The latest development in welding process is laser welding. You can use laser welding in all applications, but the producing of laser is very costlier. This laser welding process is costlier. Next, another type of welding is electron beam welding. This is also a easy process, comfortable, but the cost of producing electron beam is very high. For that reason, laser welding, electron beam welding have limited scope, but in all applications we use arc welding and gas welding process. Next, come to the first, autogeneous welding. The name genius, that is joining of ferrous to ferrous or joining of non-ferrous to non-ferrous, the same type of metal, joining of same type of metal is called autogeneous welding. Next, last classification, heterogeneous welding. See, this is the joining of ferrous to non-ferrous or non-ferrous to ferrous. So the heterogeneous, the name itself indicates heterogeneous. In this classification, you have two, braze welding and friction welding. So braze welding usually used in chemical industries or joining of components in heat exchangers and other applications. Friction welding is also used in joining of ferrous and non-ferrous metals, but which has limited scope. Next, come to the point, as we discussed about plastic welding. The plastic state means bring the joint to the liquid state and make the joint. That is called plastic welding. And fusion welding, by fuse. The name itself fusion. Fusion of the end of the components to be welded. And that's the first one in fusion welding. Arc welding. All of you seen in roadside or in the city, in all the workshop are using electric arc welding process. Electric arc welding process. This can be used for joining of heavy metal more than 10 millimeter. More than 10 millimeter. The temperature produced in arc welding, all of you imagine, that is 4000 degrees centigrade. 4000 centigrade. The arc developed by the electrode in this process has the temperature 4000 degree centigrade. So this is maximum enough to melt the ends of the component. Next, this is enough to melt the components, maybe stainless steel, maybe mild steel, maybe cast iron, or any heavy metal that can be joined by using electric arc welding process. All of you observe here, all of you seen the electric transformer. So this transformer, before explaining the components of the electric arc welding process, you must learn the current, the electric current produced to your house is a single phase or three phase. Say, remember, the electric power supplied to your house is single phase, 230 volts, 5 amp current and 50 hertz. Suppose if you are consuming more than 5 kilowatt power, then they provide the three phase 15 amp and 440 volts electric power to your house. Say, this is the source of electric current, AC of DC. Remember, this is the very important AC of DC. That is, this is the transformer which convert the AC current into DC. AC current into DC. All of you remember, this is the very important. The electric current AC is converted into DC. And remember here, if it is the three phase, the 440 volts is reduced to 40 volts in the transformer. Remember, 440 volts is stepped down to 40 volts and the 30 amps current is increased to step up to 200 amps. Step up to 200 amps. So this range, this particular range is used in joining of heavy metals of thickness of more than 10 millimeter. Say, then the power cable which is coming from the transformer, it is connected to the electrode holder. In the end of the holder, there will be a clamp. There will be a clamp which holds the electrode. The DC, that is one other cable is connected to the metal table. See, all of you observe here. Here you have a metal table. The bottom of the metal table is connected to the one of the two cables of the DC current. The other one is connected to the electrode holder, which has the clip or clamp which holds the electrode. And the one cable is connected with ammeter. Both the cables are connected to the voltmeter. When you struck the electrode on the top of the table, an arc is developed due to the heavy electric current which is coming from the transformer. Imagine 30 amps is step up to 200 amps. Due to this heavy electric current, an arc is developed between the table and the electrode. The arc has the temperature of 4000 degrees centigrade. It is a maximum enough to melt the ends of the component, which is maximum enough to melt the ends of the component. When come to the point, this is the sectional view of electric arc welding. So this is the covered electrode. This is the cover electrode. The good example for cover electrode in Deepavali, all of you burn lightness. All of you burn lightness. In that, there will be a center. There will be a wire is there or steel wire is there on which you have the coating. That coating is made from sulfur, iron oxide, and other chemicals. This is the electrode covered by chemical. That's the chemical means iron oxide. It is covered with iron oxide. All of you use the sparkles in the Deepavali festival. Sparkles. So here in that sparkles, if you burn that, you will get the sparks in all around the sparkles. The same way, the electrode has the chemical coating. This chemical coating is made from, chemical coating is nothing but the rod, MS rod in the center on which you have the chemical. That chemical is made from iron oxide and sulfur. Iron oxide and sulfur. If you use iron oxide, that makes the flux, and also the slag, makes the slag. Say, all of you observe here, the arc column which melts the base metal and on which the molten metal pool is created between the metal joint, and this is maximum enough to melt the ends of the component, and the molten metal pool which is coming from the filler rod or the electrode which fills the gap between the component makes the strong joint. All of you observe here, this is the slag, that is the burning of the iron oxide covered the electrode which makes the slag. That you have to remember, that you have to remove after the welding process by using chipping hammer. You can remove the slag on the joint by using chipping hammer. That is nothing but a flux. And this is the weld metal which is coming from the melting of the electrode. This is the molten metal pool which coming in the direction of the motion of the electrode. This is the heat affected zone. In electric arc welding, there will be HAZ, that is nothing but heat affected zone. Heat affected zone. This is the principle of operation of the electric arc welding process. All of you, please write down the question. Please write down the question. What is arc welding? Question mark. Question mark. Continue the question. Explain briefly with neat sketch. Electric arc welding. Electric arc welding. Put a question mark. Electric arc welding. Put a question mark and continue. List the applications. List the applications. Mark it very, very important. You can expect this question in the examination. Without this question, there is no question paper at all. Say, if you write this question, if you write this diagram, or if you write this diagram, that will not complete the answer. In the examination, all of you write both the figures. All of you write both the figures. If you write this figure or if you write this figure, it will not complete your answer. In the examination, you have to write both the figures. You have to write both the figures. Once again, all of you mark it. Very, very important. You can expect this question in the examination. This is the principle of operation of the electric arc welding. You have advantages and disadvantages. And next come to the point, gas welding process. All of you seen outside or in the workshop, they use gas welding. If the thickness is less than 10 millimeter, imagine if the thickness of the metal may be non-metal, you cannot use non-metal, you can use a ferrous and non-ferrous. Joining of non-ferrous metal may be brass, copper, stainless steel, or ferrous to non-ferrous, steel to brass, or copper to brass. Like that, you can join by using gas welding process. Here you have two gas cylinders. One is acetylene cylinder and the other one is oxygen cylinder. Remember, all of you seen the oxygen cylinder in the hospital, which is a 1.75 meter long length, 1.75 meter long length cylinder you might have seen in the hospital. That's the oxygen cylinder. The same way, how do you get the LPG cylinder? In the same way, the oxygen cylinder also you have to buy from the agency. And next come to the point, that's the big cylinder, that is the acetylene cylinder, and the long slender cylinder is the oxygen cylinder, which is connected to the torch, and the torch has two regulators. One is for controlling of oxygen, other one is controlling of acetylene. And this is the torch, and you have a bent rod or the pipe tube. In the end of the tube, if you pass the oxygen and cylinder, ignite at the tip, and you will get a long, slender flame, very slender flame. In that flame, you have three types of flames. One is neutral flame, other one is oxidizing flame, and the third one, carburizing flame. Remember, you have three types of flames in gas welding process. That's very, very important. And all of you observe here the principle of operation of gas welding. This is the torch tip, and this is the flame coming from the burning of the oxyacetylene gas, and this is the welding rod. Usually the welding rod is made from copper alloy or some metal. It's the non-ferrous metal. This is the direction of welding process, and this is the S metal. It's the molten weld metal, pool of molten metal or liquid metal. As the rod moves in this direction, which leaves the liquid metal, which dries up within a minute or within 5 minutes. This is the process of gas welding process. Say, this is the principle of operation. Then, before starting this operation, ignite the flame in the tip of the torch and then heat the ends of the workpiece so that the filler rod, the welding rod, melts and fills the gap between the components to be joined. Then the liquid metal makes the strong joint between the components. All of you observe here the molten weld metal, and this is the base metal to be joined, and this is the direction of welding rod or direction of welding. And after leaving the joint for drying up, after 5 minutes, the complete joint becomes very, very strong. This is the principle of operation of oxyacetylene welding. oxyacetylene welding. That is nothing but gas welding. All of you write down the question. This is very, very important. All of you write down the question. Explain briefly. Explain briefly with a neat sketch. With neat sketch. Gas welding. Explain with neat sketch gas welding. Put a question mark and list the applications. List the applications and limitations. Say among two welding process, arc welding and gas welding, you have 100% guarantee. Among two, you have one, that is arc welding or gas welding. Mark it very, very important. Among two types of welding process, arc welding and gas welding, you have one is 100% guarantee in the examination. In the examination, all of you write both the figures. If you write this figure or if you write this figure, will not complete your answer. You have to write both the figures in the examination. Next, come to the point. As I told you, three types of flames are developed in a gas welding process. One is neutral flame, oxidizing flame, carburizing flame. All of you write the question. Explain briefly. Explain briefly with a suitable diagram. With a suitable diagram. Different types of oxyacetylene flames. Oxyacetylene flames. Then come to the point. First one, neutral flame. Say here 50-50. That is 50% of oxygen, 50% of acetylene used in neutral flame, and the temperature developed in the center of the flame is 3100 degrees centigrade. See, all of you observe a cone has the temperature of 3100 degrees centigrade. This is maximum enough to melt the joints of the component. This is suitable for joining of ferrous as well as non-ferrous metals. Say, this is used in ship building. See, all of you say ship. The entire ship is made of the steel. The thickness of the steel is more than 10 millimeter. Next, come to the point. Oxidizing flame. Say, all of you observe here, oxidizing. More than 60% of oxygen used here, more than 60%. That is, for that reason, this is called as oxidizing. The percentage of oxygen present in this flame is more than 60%. And here you have 3300 degrees centigrade at the center of the cone of the flame. This is maximum enough to join the very, very hard metal like cast iron, stainless steel, and also other metals. Say in Visakhapatnam in India, we have chip breaking unit. So there, chip breaking unit. Chip breaking unit. Say for cutting off steel, more than 10 millimeter thickness, they use oxidizing flame. So in Visakhapatnam, we have a ship breaking unit, the only unit in India we have in Visakhapatnam. Then they break the unused ship. Next, come to the point, the last one, carburizing flame. So here, more than 60% of the acetylene used here. Say, remember, here it is more than 60% in oxidizing flame. In carburizing flame, more than 60% of acetylene. So here you have the three zones. One is intermediate flame and other one is blue flame. In the center cone has 2900 degrees centigrade. It is also used for cutting of steel. Oxidizing flame as well as carburizing flame is used for joining process as well as cutting process. All of you mark it very, very important. Many question paper, you have a question on different types of oxyacetylene flames. Different types of oxyacetylene acetylene flames. This is very, very important. Okay, this is the explanation for neutral flame. This is the explanation for oxidizing flame. This is the explanation for carburizing flame. So I stop at this stage. I will continue in the next class.